Welcome back, dear viewer. Filet mignon coming to you from medium rare poetry. And talk about being a day late and a dollar short. I'm wishing you a very happy birthday for the 4th of July, even though this is being recorded on the 10th of July. But I've been so busy renovating our front garden and doing so much concreting, you can now call me William the Concreter. Anyway, it's birthday time, or it was birthday time, and lots of things happened in America to celebrate, especially in Washington, D.C., where everything that Donald Trump touches turns to muck. Anyway, so I wrote a poem, obviously. So today I present to you 250 Candles. 250 Candles by Filet Mignon. It's birthday time and spirits rise in grand old USA. 250 years of nationhood is proudly on display. Every village, town and city is festooned with gorgeous bunting. Red, white and blue is hoisted with communal heaves and grunting. Faces shine and grins are wide beneath the summer sun. The celebrations ride the wave of patriotic fun. A distinctive air of every state is mirrored at their fair, and people come from near and far to bathe in glory there. But in the nation's nursing home, some call the Capitol, a cloistered crypt of cretins dosed with phenobarbital, their president in residence holds all their curly short. They dare not cross their monarch, as he is their life support. They haven't put the effort in to make this time a hoot. They've left it all to Caesar, who sees this a time to loot. His birthday was the catalyst to set the country's tone by staging vicious fighting men like once they did in Rome. He built a giant claw so to confine the UFC. Dom thought it was a smorgasbord, steroidal KFC. For someone who believes he'd earned the Nobel Prize of Peace, he sure promotes mass violence every time he makes a speech. The fight devolved to farce as DC's temperatures had leapt. This didn't faze the Donald. He was drooling as he slept. The tickets were exorbitant. Only A-class could afford. They mostly hated fisticuffs, so much of them looked bored. The union's anniversary became a spending spree, a renovating rampage that was all about the me. A royal renovation was to prove he was the boss. Approvals, bids and budgets, he just didn't give a toss. He ravaged his wife's bedroom in the middle of the night to build his gaudy ballroom with his name put up in lights. The Lincoln pool was drained and coated in a shade of blue. His narcissist reflection would enhance his weird hairdo. He renovated waterfalls around the DC parks, then MAGA folk could frolic in the waters after dark. He hung his portrait high and wide across all kinds of buildings and gussied up the White House with obscene amounts of gilding. He planned the greatest fair of all, though Washington's no state. The mall was now enclosed, so you could pay up at the gate. The bands were set to entertain upon a matchstick stage, and fireworks would wow the crowds. Explosions do engage. The Emperor of Empathy recognized the farmers' needs. Destroyed by drought, he showed them pictures of his fountain deeds. He said that in Ohio they were eating dogs. That sucks. But his new toxic liner was dispatching Lincoln's ducks. His Persian War was driving prices way up through the roof. He never had to pay for gas. His ambivalence was proof. But time was here to party, just forget the nation's woes. Captain Snooze was in control, propped up on puffy toes. They waited for 3 hours at the entrance of the fair, their food and water confiscated, Trump world now the snare. A march of white supremacists with trousers Nazi brown paraded in their cowards' masks to sober up the town. The entertainment up on stage was rocking at full tilt until it started falling down. The banner said, "Trump built." A heat wave was emerging as the weather forecast warned. The prices of the water left the patrons unadorned. The mini ATVs were carting heat stroke victims fast. The first aid tent lacked aircon, so their treatment didn't last. And then the storm was coming like a fearsome dragon's breath. The show was soon aborted. This could quickly lead to death. The trouble was that MAGA had once shunned the COVID threat, and they were going nowhere. Their fried brains were drained through sweat. The guardsmen cleared the mall, preventing any acts of God. Dispatched to George's monument a giant lightning rod. Then Sharpie Trump, who with one stroke could reroute any storm, declared no more postponement, and back came the MAGA swarm. The faithful blamed the Democrats who'd weaponized the weather. Dear leader had restored their faith, and they would wilt together. The orange orator did finally make his birthday speech, a rambling repetition of the rubbish that he'd preach. And then the greatest fireworks display there'd ever been, created by the Hog's Breath mob, recreating Tehran's scene. Trump had been so tardy in delivering his spray, midnight passed, and thus the pyrotechnics were next day. The wind had dropped, so smoke disguised the radiant display. Then toxic fallout draped them with a cyanide souffle. Trump and all his acolytes watched on from armoured glass. The lights were on, they only saw reflections of his arse. The weary party-goers wandered home beneath the stars, the morning sun revealing all their Agent Orange scars. And now the celebrations have retreated into myth. The lessons learnt have taught us to be cautious from forthwith. Don't ever vote a felon to the highest of all jobs, especially a psychopath who waddles like a slob. And rid the House and Senate of the selfish and the rich. McConnell won't give up his seat. On life support is Mitch. This wanton waste was such a shame, no one will e'er forget. 'Twill take 250 further years to pay off Donald's debt. Poor Donald can't win a trick. One of the other fountains that he renovated turned orange the other day, which is significant because I think his orange blush is now getting into the water supply in DC. Glad we don't live there. Anyway, hope you like the poem. Please like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment if you wouldn't mind. I love reading your comments. And press the notification bell and YouTube will tell you when another one's coming between concreting sessions. So I hope this finds you all brilliantly well and happy. And it's Filet Mignon signing off with bye-bye for now.